What's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today I'm going to be doing a Master Duel Blackwing deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys because we just got an amazing structure deck for Blackwings in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, which gave us all sorts of amazing support for this deck. It increased the power level of this deck by a lot and I'm super excited to show you guys this build. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name in the description of every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your Patreon. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're playing 3 copies of Simoon, the Poison Wind. This card is a definite 3 on the deck and a card you always want to see in your opening hand. We even play Small World to be able to get to this card extremely quickly. This card instantly gets you to Black Whirlwind, which is amazing because it has the ability, if you control no monsters and you have no monsters on your side of the field and this card's in your hand, you can banish one other Blackwing monster from your hand, place Black Whirlwind from your deck face up on your side of the field, and then you can normal summon out this card to your field, which is an amazing effect for this card to have to just instantly get you to Black Whirlwind extremely quickly. Then you actually will get to search off of Black Whirlwind because you normal summon this card out to your side of the field. The only downside to this card is that during the end phase, you send the Black Whirlwind you placed on the field by this effect to the graveyard, and if you do, you take 1,000 points of damage, which is not that big of a deal because sometimes we can even add that Black Whirlwind to our hand with cards like Zapdos that can actually bounce it. We then play 3 copies of Sudri the Phantom Glimmer. This is the best normal summon in the entire deck. This card is amazing as a 3-up. It has the ability, when this card is normal summon, you can add one card that mentions a Blackwing Dragon from your deck to your hand, except another copy of this card, which is a great effect to be able to search out cards like your copies of your Shamal and Vada. This card also has the ability to contribute one monster to special summon a Phantom Glimmer token to your side of the field. It is a Wing Beast Tuner Dark level 2, 700 attack and 700 defense. Then you take 700 points of damage, and you cannot special summon monsters or extra deck turn you activate this effect except Synchro monsters, which is totally fine because that's all I'm playing in the extra deck anyways. So this card is a definite 3-up in the build because it can get you that token on your side of the field. It's actually a tuner. We then play 3 copies of Shamal the Sandstorm. Shamal the Sandstorm is an awesome 3 on the deck. You can send this card from your hand or field to the graveyard and then place Black Feather Whirlwind from your deck face up in your spell and trap card zone, which is an awesome effect to just instantly get you to Black Feather Whirlwind. It also has the ability if a Blackwing Synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon is special summoned to your field while this card's in the graveyard, then you can banish this card and then target a Blackwing monster in your graveyard and add it back to your hand, then take 700 points of damage, which you can actually avoid a lot of the burn damage with Blackwing Dragon, which is an amazing effect about Blackwing Dragon, but this card is just really good in the deck as a 3-up to get you that copy of Black Feather Whirlwind. We then play 3 copies of Vada, the Emblem of Wandering. This card is an awesome 3-up in the deck. I absolutely love this card. It helps you get into your copy of Blackwing Dragon extremely quickly because it has the ability to control a Blackwing monster other than Blackwing Vada. Then you can special summon this card from your hand, but you can only special summon this card once per turn this way, and then during your main phase, you can send this card from your field to the graveyard along with 1 or more non-tuner monsters from your deck that equal level 8 to special summon out a copy of Blackwing Dragon directly from your X deck, which is an awesome effect to be able to do. But basically this card is a 1-card Blackwing Dragon. We then play a single copy of Zapdos the Elite. I feel like 1 copy is totally fine in the deck. You bounce a card from your side of the field back to your hand, take 400 points of damage, and you only see the effect once per duel, but you actually get to special summon this card out to your side of the field, which is a great effect to be able to use with Zapdos the Elite. We then play just a single copy of Gale the Whirlwind. If you control another Blackwing monster, you can special summon this card from your hand, and once per turn you can half the attack of an opponent's monster, which is a great effect to be able to use on this card to make a really big monster a little bit smaller so we can OTK the opponent. We then play a single copy of Steam the Cloak. Steam the Cloak is a great combo piece in the deck and just works extremely well in this particular build because this card generates you tokens and can actually bring itself back from the graveyard, which is a great effect once per duel by tributing a monster on your side of the field. And if this face-up card leaves the field, you can actually special summon a Steam token that is an Aqua type Wind level 1, 100 attack, 100 defense to your side of the field, which is just a really good effect. We then play just a single copy of Hamon the Dust. Hamon the Dust is a really good one in the deck, and if you control a Blackwing monster other than a copy of this card, you can special summon this card from your hand. And then this card can actually level modulate itself, that when this card is normal or special summon, you can target one of their Blackwing monsters you control and increase this card's level by that monster's, which is such a good effect to be able to increase this card's level by different levels in the deck, so you can go in for some really awesome synchro plays. We then play a single copy of Shurunga the Waning Moon. This card is actually not released in the TCG yet, so I actually had to proxy this card to be able to play it in the deck, but this card is great as a one-of in this particular build, because if a monster with 2,000 or more attack is on the field, then you can actually special summon this card from your hand. And it has the ability to only special summon this card once per turn this way, and if you control a Blackwing synchro monster, then quick effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard and then target one face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. This card is great in the deck to be able to use, because this card is a good one-of that's searchable in the deck off of your copy of Black Whirlwind, and it works extremely well in the deck because it can special summon itself to your side of the field as a tuner. This card is a definite one-of the build, and I'm so glad that we're getting it in Master Duel, and hopefully soon in the TCG. And if you guys would like to see how to make these proxies, I actually have a video on the channel titled Perfect Proxies that you can actually check out. It's actually Yu-Gi-Oh! Perfect Proxies, which is amazing of how to actually make these cards to playtest with. We then play a single copy of Chinook the Snow Blast. Chinook is a hand trap, and this card is just a really good one-of the deck to be able to use as a search target, to be able to search out this card from your deck to be able to use as a hand trap, and it's just a really good one-of. We then play a single copy of Orochi. Orochi is just a great one-star tuner monster, because if you control a Blackwing monster other than another copy of Orochi, you can special summon this card from your hand, and it's a level 1 tuner, which can help you step into a lot of different plays. We then play a single copy of the multi-dimensional kaiju. This is to be able to use with our copy of Small World to step into our copy of Simoon, because you can reveal a Blackwing in your hand, then reveal this card in your deck, which the only thing this card has in common with any card in the deck is that it's dark, and then you can actually grab your copy of Simoon from the deck, because the only thing that Simoon and this card have in common is that they're dark, making it super easy to be able to get to your copy of Simoon in the deck. We're then playing a single copy of Noctovision Dragon. This card is a really good small world target as well. You can actually reveal the copy of Ash Blossom in your hand. Since they both have 0 attack points, you can actually reveal this card, which will get you into another card into the deck, which is really good. So this is an additional small world target, but it's also very good because you can special summon this card to your side of the field if a Dark Dragon monster is special summoned to your side of the field, which is a great effect to put a level 7 monster on the field that you can use for synchro plays. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is just a great hand trap overall in this particular deck, basically just to stop the opponent from touching the deck, and it's just awesome in this particular build. We're then playing a single copy of Max C. I'm only playing a single copy of Max C in the deck because I am playing Crossout Designator. We don't really need to draw all that much in this particular deck. We basically just need to get to Small World in this particular build, and we don't want to draw a bunch of our Small World targets, which is why I'm just playing a single copy of Max C. You can play 3 if you want to in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, but I feel like 1 is totally fine for this deck because I'm playing so many other hand traps in this particular build, like our copies of Chinook, Ash Blossom, and even Infinite Impermanence later in the profile. So this card is just really good as a one of the deck to be able to hit with Crossout Designator. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into, or yeah, that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to be playing a single copy of Crossout Designator. Crossout Designator is a definite one of the deck, basically just to stop hand traps that you're playing in the deck. For example, Max C, Ash Blossom, those sorts of cards, this card is great at stopping that your opponent might activate to stop your plays. We're then playing 2 copies of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is still at 2 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, so this card is a definite 2 in the deck just to stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play 3 copies of Small World. Small World is amazing because there's so many different bridges in this deck to be able to use. You can even use cards like Ash Blossom with Noctovision because they both have 0 attack points, but the main one you're going to use is 1 Blackwing in your hand, then grab your copy of your Kaiju in the deck and reveal it, and then you can actually grab Simoon and add it to your hand, which is really good for this deck, and the main combo that I actually use with Small World to get to our copy of Simoon extremely quickly. We then play 2 copies of Black Feather Whirlwind. Black Feather Whirlwind is great as a 2 of the deck because you can easily get to this card because you're basically playing playing like 5 copies of this card with your copy of Shamal. But this card has the ability once per turn, if you special summon a dark synchro monster from your X deck, except during the damage step, you can target one of your Blackwing monsters or Blackwing Dragon that's banished from your graveyard with less attack than that special summon monster and special summon it, which is great for combo to be able to just bring back a card from the graveyard. This card is a definite 2 of in the deck, and a card you always want to get to extremely quickly so you can bring back combo pieces to go in for more plays. It also has the ability once per turn, if a dark monster you control would be destroyed by battle or by card effect, you can remove a black feather counter from your field instead. We then play 3 copies of Black Whirlwind. Black Whirlwind is a definite 3 of in the deck. This card is so important. It's not once per turn. You can normal summon multiple times in this deck. I think about 3 times is normally what you normal summon in this deck. You normal summon your copy of your Simu. You can normal summon for your additional normal summon during your turn. And then you can actually normal summon off of Nothing's effect. So this card can actually get you 3 searches in a turn just off a single copy of Black Whirlwind. This card is amazing because when a Blackwing monster is normal summoned to your side of the field, you can add a Blackwing monster from your deck to your hand with less attack points than that monster you just normal summon, making it super easy in this deck to be able to get a bunch of searches and a bunch of combo pieces, especially since a lot of our Blackwing monsters special summon themselves to your side of the field. So this card is a definite 3 of in the deck. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing a single copy of Blackwing Twin Shadow. Twin Shadow is an awesome 1 of the deck that actually lets you synchro summon at any time with this card, which is amazing because you shuffle 2 of your Blackwing monsters, a tuner and a non-tuner, that are banished from your graveyard into the deck or X deck, and then special summon a Blackwing synchro monster or Blackwing Dragon from your X deck whose level equals the total levels of those 2 monsters, and this is treated as a synchro summon, which is amazing about this card. And if you control 2 or more Blackwing monsters, you can activate this card from your hand, which is absolutely crazy. The amazing thing about this card is you can actually search it off your copy of Sudri because this card mentions Blackwing Dragon. We then play 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is just really good in this format in Master Duel, and it's a really good card to just stop your opponent in their tracks for a monster effect, or set this card to your side of the field to lock down an entire column for spells and traps. This card is amazing in the deck as a 3 of and a really good card. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with 3 copies of Blackwing Assault Dragon. You guys knew it was coming. You can actually make 3 copies of this card in a single turn with this particular build, which is the main focus of the deck, is to go first and make 3 copies of this card extremely quickly so that every time your opponent activates a monster effect, they're going to take 700 points of damage. This card is super easy to summon to your side of the field because it must either be synchro summon or special summon from your X deck by banishing 1 tuner synchro monster and a Blackwing Dragon from your face up from your field or your graveyard, which is amazing that you can banish the materials from the graveyard to actually special summon out this card. And it has a crazy powerful effect that each time your opponent activates a monster effect, you place a black feather counter on this card. And when that effect resolves, and if you do, you actually inflict 700 points of damage to your opponent. And then during your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can tribute this card with 4 or more black feather counters on it and destroy all cards on the field, which is amazing to combo with your copy of Blackwing Full Armor Master. I do play 2 copies of Full Armor Master because this is the pure synchro version of Blackwings, which is actually my favorite version of Blackwings to play. But this card is amazing in the deck because it's unaffected by other cards' effects, so you can't destroy this card with Blackwing Assault Dragon. And this card is super good to put on your side of the field because if your opponent deals with the first one, they're usually not going to have a way to deal with the second one in this deck. But this card is super good because each time your opponent's monster that your opponent controls activates its effect, you place a wedge counter on that opponent's monster, maximum 1. And after that effect resolves, you put that wedge counter on it, and once per turn, you can target 1 monster that your opponent controls with a wedge counter on it and take control of it. And once per turn, during your end phase, you destroy all monsters on the field that have wedge counters on it, which is super good to be able to use with this card. We then play a sealed copy of Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. This card is a walking negate, so it's a definite 1 of in this build. We then play a sealed copy of Blackwinged Dragon. Blackwinged Dragon is actually how you step into your copy of your Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss, and this card is just amazing to put on your side of the field because it's going to help you go in for your copy of Blackwing Assault Dragon, and it's also just a really good card to play in this deck as a 1 of because it's basically the central focus of the deck now. We then play a sealed copy of Silver Wind Wind the Ascendant. This is a card that you can actually summon during your opponent's turn with Twin Shadow to be able to pop 2 cards on the field. We then play a single copy of Draco Berserker. Draco Berserker is really easy to put on your side of the field, and when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can banish it, which is just such a good effect. This card also helps you OTK, because if this card attacks and destroys an effect monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, this card gains the attack of destroyed monster's original attack. Also, it can make a second attack on a monster during this battle phase, which is a great effect to be able to attack twice with this card. We then play a single copy of Scarlet Red Dragon Archfiend. This is really good against Rogue because you can destroy all the monsters on the field, and this card is just very easy to play in the deck. Plus, it's super cool because it was Jack Atlas's card with Crow Hogan's deck, and this card is super cool because it actually has the ability to become Red Dragon Archfiend while on the field or in the graveyard, and once per turn, you can destroy as many special summon effect monsters on the field as possible with attack less than or equal to this card other than this card, and then inflict 500 points of damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed, which is great to combo with your copy of your Blackwing Assault Dragon, because this card is just great to be able to clean up games because you can destroy a bunch of effect monsters on the field and then do the final blow against the opponent, which is amazing. We then play a single copy of Raikiri. This card is great because it can pop multiple cards on the field up to the number of other Blackwing cards that you control, which is just a really good effect. Play a single copy of Obsidian Hawkjoe. Obsidian Hawkjoe is great because this card can actually target a level 5 or higher Winged Beast monster in your graveyard and special summon it, which is the big effect you're going to use on this card. We then play a single copy of Blackwing Armor Master. This card is my favorite Blackwing in the entire deck, and it's super good because it cannot be destroyed by battle, and you take no battle damage from attacks involving this card. And at the end of the battle step, if this card attacked or was attacked, then you can place a wedge counter on that monster, maximum 1. You can also remove wedge counter from all monsters from a monster that your opponent controls, and the attack and defense of those monsters with wedge counters on them become 0 until the end of this turn, which is a crazy awesome effect that you can just drop your opponent's monsters' attack points down to 0 by pulling those wedge counters out. We then play a single copy of Borea Storm. Borea Storm is how we actually summon out our copy of Blackwing Assault Dragon, because this card is a tuner synchro monster, and if this card is synchro summoned, you can send a Blackwing monster from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, this card's level becomes this level of that monster that was sent to the graveyard, which is a really good effect. But you can level modulate this card to go in for a bunch of different synchro plays, so this card is a definite one of in the build. We then play a single copy of Nothung. Nothung is great because it gives us an additional normal summon, which is just super good. And if this card is special summoned, you can inflict 800 points of damage to your opponent, then target a face-up monster your opponent controls, and it loses 800 attack and defense, which is just a really good effect. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have not played Blackwings and Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, now is the perfect time because we have an awesome structure deck that actually by picking up 3 of them, you can pretty much play the deck by just putting in a couple of hand traps, which is really awesome. I love this deck so much. It's super fun. It's my favorite deck to play, and I'm really excited that we finally have the new support for this deck. So anyways, guys, that's it for this one. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.